We just received a big update on what the Chicago Bears will do at the trade deadline, and today's episode of Geek on the Mic starts right now.
Ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Geek on the Mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Geek on the Mic. You can go and subscribe, cause I be on it right. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Geek on the Mic.
Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Geek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. As always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. So, Bears fans, as we all know, the NFL trade deadline is in the next couple of weeks, and we have been having a whole lot of conversations on what we believe the Chicago Bears would do at the NFL trade deadline. Early on in the season, when the Bears started off 0-2, we all believed that the Bears would be big-time sellers at the trade deadline. But after a 4-game winning streak and with a whole lot of momentum and maybe potentially trying to make the playoffs as soon as this season, now we have all flipped and said now the Bears could possibly be buyers at a huge position of need, mostly at the edge rushing position at the trade deadline. But it seems that has been very quiet over the last couple of weeks. No one really knows what Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears are going to do at the trade deadline, but we have just received a pretty interesting update in regard to the Chicago Bears and the NFL trade deadline, and this came from Jeff Hughes of the Bears blog. Someone was basically asking the question on X saying, hey, Jeff, what do you think the Chicago Bears are going to do at the trade deadline? Do you think they're going to be active after 4 straight wins in the next couple of weeks? He said they definitely want to make a trade, but it's about availability. And this is very interesting because there's been a lot of rumors here and there that the Chicago Bears are interested in guys like Jeffrey Simmons or Breece Hall, but just because we hear those rumors doesn't mean that those teams actually want to trade guys like Breece Hall or Jeffrey Simmons. There's even been rumors out there saying the Titans have opened up the door to any other player besides Cam Ward and Jeffrey Simmons. We haven't really heard anything on the New York Jets and the Breece Hall situation, if the Chicago Bears are still interested in that player. But overall, it is mostly about availability. It is a two-way street when you're talking about trades, especially in the middle of the season. And I think this has a lot to do with Ryan Poles trying to be cautious in the moves that he is making. Of course, the Chicago Bears don't want to overpay for the wrong player, but at the same time, Ryan Poles has a history of also missing at the trade deadline. Most notably, a couple years ago when he traded a second-round pick to land Chase Claypool from the Pittsburgh Steelers. We all know how that worked out. It was an epic fail, and Chase Claypool is no longer in the National Football League. So I think Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears are trying to make the best move possible, and they sound like they are interested in making a big-time swing at the trade deadline, but it all depends on if that other team actually wants to make a move. Don't get me wrong, Bears fans. If the Tennessee Titans change their mind, and let's say the Chicago Bears win these next 2 against the Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals, they are now sitting at 6-2 in the thick of not only the NFC North, but in the NFC Conference in general, and trying to make a big playoff push, then yes, I would still make a push for the Tennessee Titans if they are willing to trade Jeffrey Simmons, or I would make a push for maybe a Max Crosby from the Las Vegas Raiders if they are willing to actually trade Max Crosby. But at the same time, if they are not willing to trade those guys, the Chicago Bears are not going to overpay for just any player just because they want to make a trade. Ryan Poles is trying to be smart, he's trying to be calculated, and he's trying to do what's best for the Chicago Bears. So overall, Bears fans, I just wanted to come on here really quick on today's episode of Geek on the Mic and give you just that quick update. Once again, according to Jeff Hughes of the Bears blog, it sounds like the Chicago Bears are being very active, trying to call around at position of need, like the edge rushing position. They understand that they need help. Outside of Montez Sweat, it's been very underwhelming. Montez Sweat seems like he's turned on over the last couple of weeks, but we still need a true disruptor on the other side or even on the interior, and that's where Jeffrey Simmons and guys like Max Crosby make a lot of sense. I know the New York Jets have a couple of guys that could be available that could really help elevate this Bears defensive line as well. It is a two-way street when you are making trades. If these guys are not available, if these teams do not want to trade at the deadline, it is what it is at that point. Not only that, the Chicago Bears are not going to overpay for a guy like Will McDonald from the New York Jets, for example, right? If it's in terms of Max Crosby or Jeffrey Simmons, maybe the Chicago Bears do overpay just a little bit to really upgrade a position of need. So it's going to be interesting in these next couple of weeks to see if the Chicago Bears are able to land a game-changing player at the trade deadline. I'm at a huge position of need. I will make sure to keep you guys up to date with everything that I am hearing, but let me know down below in the comment section on what you think the Chicago Bears will actually do at the trade deadline. Do you think they actually get a trade done, or do you think they will stand pat and keep the guys that they have on this roster? Let me know down below in the comment section. But Bears fans, before I let you guys go on today's episode of Keek on the Mic, I just want to get something off my chest really quick. Of course, we play the Baltimore Ravens this weekend in Baltimore. And currently, Baltimore is 1-5. They have been really struggling on the defensive side of the football, so I can definitely see possibly Caleb Williams in the offense maybe scoring a lot of points. You know, Bears are the only team to score 21-plus points in all 6 games that they have played this season, and I can see that trend continuing this weekend in Baltimore. But the real reason why the Ravens are currently sitting at 1-5 is because Lamar Jackson has been injured, or at least sidelined with that hamstring injury. So he has not been available for the Baltimore Ravens. What bothers me about the situation from Bears fans is, you know, there's a lot of Bears fans hoping that Lamar Jackson does not come back this week. They're coming off their bye week and they're saying, please, Lamar Jackson, just sit on the sideline for one more week. And I understand Lamar Jackson is an MVP in the National Football League, one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League. And we all understand that if he comes back and we get a healthy version of Lamar Jackson, it could potentially be a long day for the Chicago Bears defense. But at the same token, I think it would carry more weight if the Chicago Bears were able to be 100% healthy Lamar Jackson and a Baltimore Ravens team, rather than being a Baltimore Ravens team that doesn't have Lamar Jackson. If the Chicago Bears want to be taken seriously from the national media and really take the next step as a football team, we have to be able to beat teams like the Baltimore Ravens when they are really mostly at full strength. I know there's a couple of guys on the defense side of the football that are hurt, but I'm mostly talking about if Lamar Jackson is healthy. And we all know how good Lamar Jackson can be and what it can mean for the Chicago Bears defense if he is out there playing. If we can beat that version of Lamar Jackson, I think this win would carry so much more weight. If Lamar Jackson happens to be out and the Bears go out there and win, all it's going to be is says, well, you guys beat the Ravens without Lamar Jackson, and then the Bears fans that wanted Lamar Jackson to be out are going to be annoyed that those people are making those type of comments, but they're absolutely correct. If Lamar Jackson is out, it's a huge boost for the Chicago Bears. If Lamar Jackson is not playing for the Ravens, the Chicago Bears should be able to go out there and handle business against the 1-5 Baltimore Ravens without Lamar Jackson. I am not saying the Bears can't go in there into Baltimore with the new culture that Ben Johnson has instilled and be a healthy Lamar Jackson and Ravens team. I am just saying that I think it's very just shameful that some Bears fans are hoping that Lamar Jackson is out. At this point, I am very happy that the Bears are 4-2, but I truly want to see what this Chicago Bears football team is about. I want to see if we are actually turning a corner as a football team, and I just feel that it would carry so much more weight to be a healthy Lamar Jackson on Sunday in Baltimore. Let me know down below in the comment section if you agree with me. I just had to get that off my chest on today's episode of Keek on the Mic. But other than that, Bears fans, make sure you guys continue to hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms, and make sure you share this episode of Keek on the Mic with every single Bears fan that you know. But other than that, be back for all new Bears podcast right here on Keek on the Mic. Thanks, guys, and as always, bear down.
Cali to Chi-Town, it's Bears on the flight. Let me go tune in to Keek on the Mic. He gon' make sure we get our news and highlights. When you get on YouTube, you better hit the like.